Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another edition of Pantherology. Welcome to today's video. We're going to be talking about some things, in my opinion, that I think Carolina basically have some remaining needs to fill on this team before we get into the season, which I'm hoping that they will squash in the near future here. Obviously, still being in the off season, we can still hopefully maybe fill in some positions, but we'll get more depth in that here shortly. Before we get into today's video, as always, I ask that you pound that like button, pound that subscribe button. That's the two things I ask. That's all I need from you. Feel free to comment down below. I do love to hear your thoughts, but if you bring just negative vibes, just keep it out. I know I had a lot of comments last video that said I was using other people's sayings and all this other bullshit. No, I'm not. If you want to come prove me wrong, come prove me wrong. But these are my opinions coming off the top of the dome. So, you know what? You can go yourself for all I give a shit. And then also click that post notifications bell so you don't miss out on any new raw content. That's what it is, raw content. So, just a little rant there. Sorry about that. I'll leave my shout outs to the end. So let's go ahead and dive right into today's video. So Carolina has, I think, some remaining needs that need to be filled. And Scott Fitterer, gentleman, I still think has some work to do. Now, Panthers general manager Scott Fitterer, I think, did an outstanding job this summer in upgrading various parts of this roster. You know, most notably the offensive line. Now, however, GMs, and then particularly, Scott Fitterer in this case, we are always seeking to improve, right? So if the Panthers decide to make further changes, these are the areas I believe they will need to focus on. And the first area I'd love to talk about here is the edge rusher, right? The Panthers have yet to replace Haason Reddick, who signed a multi-year contract with those Philadelphia Eagles in free agency. They welcomed back, though, Marquise Haynes Sr. and Frankie Louvu, but no new players have been added since. So this indicates that they expect YGM will go off in year 3 and stay healthy, or they want to employ a combination of players to compensate for Reddick's productivity. So they have no choice, in my opinion, but to create some competition for the position. I wasn't interested in choosing one in the draft because we didn't have a good amount of number of picks, right? We were limited there. So the edge men would have been gone by the time that they would have picked again at, after number 6. So they needed to go with a veteran in case, YGM does make the next step. And a guy that I like to keep in mind and just keep throwing that name out there is Jadeveon Clowney. So keep an eye out on him. Next position I'd love to talk about here is the wide receiver position. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. There is not much exciting to this wide receiver room besides DJ Moore. Robbie Anderson, yes, had a great 2020 season. However, that quarterback with whom he put those stats up with is now a Miami Dolphin. So, although I do think Rashad Higgins was a decent pickup for this depth chart, Carolina still lacks, I think, a genuine number 2 receiver. So even though they are beyond their prime, there are a few veterans on the market I think worth maybe considering, such as, I think, Jarvis Landry, Julio Jones, possibly T.Y. Hilton, comes to mind. So I don't anticipate the Panthers to bring in a huge name, but a steady veteran would help this team. Now, let's talk about that linebacker room. All right. The Panthers still require a new inside linebacker or a Mike linebacker, for some of you that don't know. Damian Wilson's off-field predicament is still unresolved. All right. And the Panthers have no one to replace him. They've had someone playing out of position, and if I had to guess, it would probably be Shaq Thompson, right? would be asked to probably slide on into the inside there. So whatever happens with Wilson and the Panthers, they need to get another guy in the building who can line up at that Mike position. So guys, those are the needs that I think we need to fulfill before this 2022 season. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Also, shout out to the Carolina Panthers Den on Facebook. And as always, before I leave you, keep pounding.